You're watching Georgette After Dark, my intimate interview series, and I got my girl. Phoebe, you came from LA to fuck with me. I know I wanted to say something else.
Yes.
Oh, I could say it. You came from LA to fuck with me.
Yes. I came to LA, girl.
Came to LA to fuck with me.
Well, that's, of course, you say LA, I'm out.
Yeah, like done and done, and I'm
Easy.
excited. Listen, we became friends because our mutual girlfriend got married and we were her bridesmaid.
Shout out to V.
And look at us now, voice notes galore.
Yeah. You're not running from me.
Talking about these men's in them, like.
Constantly talking about men's, but
okay,
that's
it's
what we
okay.
do.
This is what we do. Listen, so what's going on in Ohio? Like, you have your own business. You're a boss-ass entrepreneur.
I be trying.
You got this keen style of fashion. Did you study fashion in school?
I did not. I actually studied fashion after school, but what I did study at my HBCU, Clark Atlanta University. Senior kids there. I studied supply chain management, business administration. I grew up entrepreneurial. My mother's an entrepreneur. My grandmother's an entrepreneur. Black women running lives and still running my life to this day. So I knew I wanted it to do something entrepreneurial. I just didn't know what. And I had a thing for clothes and designing clothes, so found a way to link that eventually.
Right, so your company is called Affinity Apparel.
Affinity Apparel.
So what does your company do?
My company is a provider of uniforms nationwide. Mm-hmm. We're based in Fairborn, Ohio. We have a distribution center in Mount Sterling, Kentucky. We deliver over 400 uniforms yearly. 400,000 employees.
Yeah.
We service annually as a company. We're a minority, woman-owned business, obviously, as a majority stakeholder.
Yeah.
Something I'm very proud of, because when do we get the opportunity to be Black and proud and make money from it? There's certification worlds. Again, I grew up in it. My mother is an MBE, so that's how I got in this business.
Things. Well, I mean, you wanting to start your own business, there has to be a story behind that. What has that been like for you, your trajectory? Because before you started Affinity Apparel, were you were running another company, or you were doing something before?
My company is VDP, Very Determined People, Verna, David, Phoebe.
That's what it stands for.
Yeah, I grew up, my company now owns Affinity Apparel.
Okay, got it, okay, yep.
I have partners now with a private equity fund. I grew up, my mother's a candid entrepreneur in business development. Most people know her in Ohio from the MBE world, developing companies like that. So I grew up under this. I grew up seeing a woman, you have to write down your schedule as a child in her book. She's never not made anything if it was in that book. She's gonna be anywhere you needed it. I knew I needed that freedom. As a child, I knew early on, I'm a late bloomer. This is now kind of just happening for me, 34, 35, in a sense of late bloomer. That's not late bloomer for millennials, but to our moms. But I knew I didn't want to work for anybody. I didn't have the corporate, I'm me. And that's, I couldn't fit that box.
Yeah.
It's funny that I'm kind of in corporate America now, but top of the food chain.
But you're still doing your thing. But I would have loved to see that when I was younger. And I know for you, like, that was really important. Was it very important for your parents to be able to instill that in you?
I don't know if it was a plan of theirs. They just were being them. My father was a truck driver, a very blue-collar man, but he owned his own truck. So it was always about,
somebody
we didn't have the
opportunities
that were given to most people. My family is from the Delta of Mississippi. We had to create our own opportunities. I graduated from college in 2006. It was a recession. It was hard for me. I had top of the, food chain, 3.8. Couldn't get a job if I wanted to.
Right.
All right, so I'll make my own business. It's kind of not how we wanted to probably do it, but it was forcefully. That's the best way to do it, I guess.
Yeah. Now, why Ohio?
Ohio is, again, my mother's from Mississippi. Her older sister is from her grandfather, or something like that. We have people in Ohio.
Got it.
We all followed the aunt, Aunt Barbara.
Yeah.
So, and she's the reason why I love fashion. She used to sew all my clothes. She's the whole family. She's the fashion person. She taught me how to sew.
Yep.
Taught my mother how to sew. Yep. So, being able to switch up our outfits, which was very important for her, is where it started, I think, for me, to be honest.
Yeah. No, I mean, because we did dinner. By the time they see this, we did dinner the night before this interview.
Yes.
And there was this skirt. I was just like, ma'am.
I brought it for you.
Thank you,
I did.
ma'am. Because I was just like, if my cousin sees this, he's going to be like, okay, why are we wearing this? So you went to Clark Atlanta for supply chain management, but you also went to FIT, Fashion Institute of Technology in New York. But where were you inspired to really get into fashion? It started when you were younger, right?
It definitely, I will say I'm probably the same person I've been since 3 years old. My mother said I came out of her grown. But everything I really love doing,
Come on, Mom.
I've been doing, like, starting from you know how we had the paper dolls. I would design their outfits. Again, my mother bought me a sewing machine when everybody else was getting all these cool Christmas gifts. I got a real life sewing machine.
Yeah.
Now I realize she just realized the things that I loved, and instead of pushing lawyer, doctor, and I barely like to read onto me, she was just gonna push things that I liked. So my father he's a kind of blue collar working dude, but he can clean up. Always, that's what he's known for. He clean up nice. But he loved a thrift store. So probably maybe 6th grade, he took me to a thrift store, and I was like, "What is this?" But I discovered sequins, and
And it was a wrap.
It was a wrap ever since.
She's not discovered
So
sequins.
it's sequins at $4 and
Yes,
$5.
yeah.
You know, so learning how to budget, look a lot more wealthy than you are.
Yeah.
One of my things.
Just dressing the part. I love that. I mean, now, as far as when people think of fashion, you know, with your company, uniforms aren't necessarily the first thing that comes to mind. What made you lean into uniforms?
So I worked in New York, and if you lived in New York, you know it's like a martial law. It tries to kill you as much as it tries to build you. I worked in a fashion business, a wholesale clothing, and I did sales for other brands. I love the sales world, and I love the business of it because that's where the checks came from. And I'm not a designer.
I can't.
You know, I'm not a fashion designer. I'm not going to sketch. I'm not going to do the tech packs and stuff like that. I wasn't interested in that. I like dressing, putting stuff together, and getting a check. But when you're chasing the trends, and it's cyclical. You know, one day those shoes are in, the next day it isn't. So I had a hard time with having a good commission check one quarter and then, you know, having to save. And I'm not a saver. So I was speaking to my mother, my confidant, complaining, venting in my late 20s, hard time about what I wanted to do. And she just mentioned, what about uniforms? It was still in the same world. And we started with safety, like safety gloves, hard hats, goggles. We started with that. She had met someone. So I wouldn't be anything without Verna Lee, baby. But again, just realizing what I love to do.
Yeah.
It's still a background in sales. It's still fashion. I make people every day. Every year, 400,000 people go to work feeling good because of what I did, what we did, what my team did. And one last thing, my father, blue collar truck driver, butcher, always wore a uniform. One of his favorite things to say about men, if that man don't have pride to put a uniform on and go to work, I hear that his voice. And so it's ironic that I sell uniforms now.
Oh, I love that connection. What's the working relationship like with your mother, though?
I fire her like every week. Now, mind you, I worked for her growing up, so I always worked for her. She'd fire me constantly. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
Honestly, for real, fire me. It's not a fake fire. Like, you aren't late, you're fired.
Yeah.
So I am her. I'm Verna Jr. I say that honestly. I became her. I speak like her in emails. I'm way more ratchet than my mom, like, period. But I learned a lot from her. So, like I said, I wouldn't be where I am without her. The work relationship is we're employee-employer when we're working. That's my mother when we're not working. I do have to tell her it's 5 o'clock. Don't call me with business. Because now I need my mother.
I need my mother.
Right. So we have a good balance in that. I never lost my mom. I never would lose. She'll never lose her daughter.
Because I was going to ask you about work-life balance. Like, how do you manage that?
She's done that because I grew up working for her. My brother has worked maybe 2 jobs outside. He's 42. 2 jobs outside of my mother, and that was when times got hard and we all had to dig in. You know? But we've always worked for her. We know I grew up in a family business or dynamic. I don't know anything else. Like, mainly because it's one pot, a one-pot type of thing. We all put in, we all take out. I've always taken the most out. So it's now my chance to put in for everybody. So it's a cool thing.
What are some of the things that you learned about business from the women in your family?
We have to be creative. Nothing ever is handed to us. It's very difficult for Black women or Black companies to get funding in any situation with business. So we have to come up with bake sales. We have to be creative. We have to do so many things to keep our businesses going, but that's why we are flourishing. That's why we do so well. Black women are the #1 business growers or entrepreneurs in the country. There's a reason why. We have to take care of our kids. We have to take care of a husband, mothers, grandparents, children, and then run a business. It's just the way we are.
Yeah. Back to the fashion. Who are some of your biggest fashion icons? Do you have any?
Yes, of course. Rihanna. Right now, there's nothing
Rihanna
Rihanna cannot wear and not
she
look
is
amazing.
My muse.
I wish I was as classy as Beyonce, but I would rather wear sneakers than to be her most of the time.
You still have your class though. You have your own way of
I put it. I know how to put it on.
Yeah.
But the typical me don't want it.
right.
When I think of who's killing, there's so many more. Naomi Campbell, honestly, Trailblazers. But I speak on Rihanna. I think about Rihanna right now because of what she's doing.
Right.
To break those barriers of what beauty looks like.
Yep.
And then just having Fenty. Now we can wear high-end labels and it just be us. It's just certain things. It's beautiful.
It's a different conversation with her being in the game. I love it too. Would you have done anything differently career-wise?
I used to think I would. No, I knew. I graduated with a 3.8. So many corporations were trying to hire me.
Yeah.
I decided not to do that. Growing through that struggle when you're broke, when you're trying to build a career.
You just want to jump in, right.
Why didn't you go get a job? Why didn't you do what you're supposed to do? Now that I look back, I have hit every hard roadblock I have. So I know how to run this thing. I wouldn't change anything now at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're big on giving back to the community. Rep your set real quick. Like, what are you doing? Because I know you're on some boards. I was like, you got to talk about that.
Like I said, man, God is amazing. I went to school my senior year, I went to Cuyahoga Community College during my last year in high school, which gave me enough credits to graduate early from Clark Atlanta. I actually had to sit out of school for a semester. My mother paid for tuition out of pocket. We was always broke. Always broke. So I had to sit out a semester. That semester I took in high school I graduated before all my peers in 3.5 years, right?
Come on, Mom.
So what we didn't know is that this opportunity is available for inner city community colleges. We have one of the better programs. We send high school students as low as 7th grade, as young as 7th grade, to take college courses. My little cousin is in the 9th grade and taking college courses now. He'll graduate with an associate's degree at 16. Something like that is amazing. So
it was important to you.
It's important to me, and I sit on that board as a board of trustee. I'm one of the youngest to sit on the board, but I represent who we serve. I now recognize that. I've been on there for a year, so it's amazing to be a Black woman, and I am someone who benefited from that school, and I want my family to benefit from that school.
Yeah.
It's a great program. They have great programs.
Yeah. Best advice your father or mother gave you, or both?
My best. I have my father who passed away in 2015. That was my homie. He was 40 years old when he had me, so we had a different relationship.
Right.
I'm the baby, but it's too many. But the one that I would never shake is, can I curse?
Yes.
Don't let a motherfucker tell you more than once that he don't want to be with you. I have never had a problem with leaving a man or leaving a friendship or leaving a bad job or leaving something, because you don't have to show me. You don't have to tell me once. You just show me. And that's easy.
Yep.
Best thing he ever told me. I never forget that. Mother, you cute, but you got to work hard.
Ooh. Okay.
So.
I gotta meet your mother.
Mama's, I'm telling
she
you,
don't play. Mothers don't play, okay?
People think she's real sweet.
I know.
She
Mothers
cute, nice
don't
little
play.
Pisces, but that thing gathers me every day. And I'm her boss. She gathers me in my business.
Yes. Okay, so now we gotta get into the After Dark segment.
After Dark.
You know, we've been talking about this After Dark segment, so I was just like, I gotta craft some good questions for Phoebe, because she goes in. Okay, first question, only because I'll be having these conversations with my guy friends. As far as sexy sleepwear, t-shirt or lingerie?
I'm a t-shirt and your panties
Come
kind of
on,
girl.
come on,
your
yes.
t-shirt and panties kind of girl.
Oh, I didn't even hear the your part.
Your
oh,
t-shirt.
Okay,
You gotta make a man feel good. Yeah, I would love to be the lingerie girl, but I'm tired. And you're taking it off.
So, that's what's happening.
Yeah, I mean.
Okay.
I'll buy it. You buy it. I'll wear it.
But it's not.
I'm usually a t-shirt.
I am too,
kind of girl.
to be honest, because it's the easiest thing to put on, and I can go right to sleep. I don't have to think about it.
They like it. They act like they don't. They like it.
That's fine. I agree. Okay, last one. Morning sex or evening?
Okay, so it used to be reverse for me. I got shit to do now, so I like morning.
Oh, she's like, okay, this is how this
I'm sleeping
is
night.
gonna wake me up so I can go.
I used to didn't want
start my day.
Don't touch me. I just woke up. But the morning is saying get it out the way, because I do believe in duties as a woman.
Okay.
You're not probably gonna leave me because of sex. You might leave me because I have a bad attitude. I'm too bossy, but a need of that is not going to be it. So let me get it out the way. Not even let me get out of the way, because I'm not going to make you feel that way.
Yes.
But in my mind, I have business to handle, and I want you to be taken care of, boo.
Oh, okay.
So let's get it out the way.
She rose to the occasion. Boo. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Okay,
because I went to survey my crew like, wait, morning sex, y'all morning sex, evening sex?
I do want to know everybody's answer.
Everybody was just like,
okay, that's fine. We good.
okay.
Was that too much? Huh?
No, it wasn't.
My mother can't watch this.
Okay,
She
Mom.
can watch that first part.
Right, so after dark, we'll be like, Mom, yeah, no, just me.